my name is Charlotte, welcome back to my channel. This week we are doing a week of reading lit fic. So I have wanted to become a lit fic girly. I've wanted to give lit fic a go. I get a lot of lit fic content come up on my For You page and I'm always curious, so I thought the best way to try a genre is to just spend the whole week reading that genre. I am filming this at the end of the week, so I have my opinions, we have our reads. The books that we read are Normal People by Sally Rooney, My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tessa Moshfegh, and Romantic Comedy by Kata Sittenfeld. And let me tell you, it was an interesting week. So lit fic is defined as fiction that is very character driven. That is kind of the thing that defines what is a piece of lit fic as opposed to just a piece of general fiction. It is something that has to be super character driven. If you're new here, I don't typically like character driven pieces, but I think this week might have just changed my opinion on that. That's what I'm gonna say. But let's jump straight into things and we will start off by reading Normal People by Sally Rooney. Okay, so first up for the week of lit fic is Normal People by Sally Rooney. Now, I am officially a chapter in and I already have 2 tabs and it's a 9-page chapter. So far, I'm very much enjoying this book. I've read Conversations with Friends, I read it last year. I can't really remember my thoughts on it. I think I liked it quite a lot, but I wasn't that much of a reader when I read it, or like I wasn't reading that much and that widely when I read it, but I'm already like, I'm excited about this. And it's crazy because I have like a page dogged on like page 4, so I obviously started it, got like 3 pages in and I was like, nah, not for me. And I'm like, how did past me not? Maybe because like now I'm kind of back to more of like reading things in like more of an analytical way, and like the way the literal first line of the book is Marianne answers the door when Connell rings the bell. I know obviously like because it's such a big TV show, like I do know like quite a bit about what this is about and the goings on of their relationship. Like I've seen, I guess, kind of spoilers. But yeah, really enjoying this so far. I'm very excited to get straight into it and to just keep reading. It's also super short, which is always nice. We love a short book. Hey man, don't touch it, yeah. Not even trying to be dramatic, I think I've got a new favourite book. I'm obsessed. Like, I'm having to tell myself, Charlotte, you really don't need to tab that, because I think I could be tabbing every sentence in this book. Like, you can't really see because it's so thin so far, but I already have, like, I don't know, there's like a tab on every other page at this point. There's just so many things that are like so, oh my god, like, oh, I'm so obsessed. I also didn't realise how early on some of the really iconic lines come. But yeah, I don't think I spoke about what my tabbing system is. So this is how I am tabbing. So we have Connell, Marianne, love, sad. So far, every single colour has been used. I'm obsessed. Like, I'm kind of taking my time because I'm like, I just don't want to finish it really, really quickly because this is about to be my whole personality. Like, I'm definitely going to watch the series after finishing the book, like 100%. It also, like, I have such a crush on Paul Mescal, and obviously where I have seen so many like clips from the show, I am just thinking like the characters of him. He's just so hot. Anyway, we don't need me blushing over Paul Mescal. And before anyone comments down below like about the rumours, I know about the rumours. I'm not bothered about the rumours. That man could run away from me all he likes. Anyway, back to the book. I'm obsessed with it, and like literally I'm on page 29, so let's keep reading because how I feel about this book is not normal for only being 29 pages in. Okay, super quick little update from my thoughts on Normal People. So far I'm loving it. Like I love this book. I am only on page 107, but look how much I've tabbed. You can't really tell. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's taking me a little while to read, like it is now Thursday evening, purely just because of how much tabbing I'm doing. Like it does obviously, like it's a bit more time consuming than just sat reading. Like when I have gone a few pages but not tabbing, like I am flying through them. But yeah, I'm loving it. I know a lot of people don't like this because there isn't speech marks, but that really doesn't bother me. Like I don't know. I just don't really feel affected by it. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish this probably tomorrow evening. I'm gonna try and read for quite a bit this evening. I'm gonna sit downstairs and read. But yeah, just the update. I am loving it. Like maybe this is me becoming a lit fit girly, because yeah, I am absolutely obsessed with it so far. I do think it's a 5-star read. I am finding myself thinking about the characters quite a lot, but yeah, we'll kind of see, because I really don't know where this could go in the next 100 pages. Well, yeah, the next 107 pages. Lighting might be a little bit whack, but I finished Normal People super late last night. I'm gonna do all of my full thoughts and reviews like at the end of this video of all of the books. But thoughts on Normal People, like briefly, guys, this book was too close to home. Like there was a few times where I did think I was gonna DNF it because it was just too, like it was hitting too close to home. Like there were like actual quotes that were the same as what like someone had genuinely said to me when I was in a situationship very similar to this. Yeah, a lot of like the tone of this relationship just very much reminded me of a relationship, like situationship that I had been in. So reading a book about it was hard, like I'm not gonna lie, but it was also really cathartic and I did really enjoy this. As I said, full ratings, full thoughts will come at the end of the video just so I can sit on them a little bit, because I am someone that like when I first read a book I'm like, wow, that was amazing, and then I like actually think about it and I'm like, oh. So yeah, well, we're gonna sit on that a little bit more, but I am gonna sit down and start our second book of the video, which is Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. I haven't actually heard too much about this, apart from in Destiny's most recent video, she DNF'd this, and I haven't got to the part of the video because it's like a really long video, so I watch it like over parts because I haven't had time to like just sit down and watch a 15-minute video. Anyway, in the video, she basically, she put on her story that she DNF'd it. So I'm a little bit nervous because I normally do a quite similar taste to her, but nevertheless we are going to get into it. We're going to kick things off and we're just going to see how it goes. It's only 300 pages, so I'm hoping to finish this kind of tomorrow morning, like just a nice quick read, I'm thinking, because Normal People did actually take me a little while. So it is Saturday today and I think I started it on Tuesday, like Tuesday night. So it took me like 4 days to read, and it's 260 something pages. So yeah, it took me a while to read purely because of how much I was crying and just having to take like breaks. Like that was something that happened that did really like it hit like very close to home and like was just hard. I did have to take like a sizable break from reading then. So hopefully this won't be as like therapy inducing and I'll be able to just enjoy it, read it. But so far very much enjoying my week of litfic. I actually think this is classed as a romantic literary. It's a bit of a new genre, which is why I decided to give this a go, because yeah, I feel like when you're trying a new genre, it sometimes is more helpful to read something that's like a little bit of an in-between rather than balls to the wall. Like I'd say this is kind of a bit of an in-between as well. So yeah. Okay, so it is now Sunday. I started a romantic comedy yesterday and I'm on page 70, I think. So I'm really enjoying this book. So it is basically about a writer on a show that is basically meant to be at SNL, so Saturday Night Live. And we are very much like learning right now just about how the show works, the processes, and I'm finding it super interesting. That it's quite a lot of like info dumping where we are, because obviously like she is having to build a world in the sense that like the majority of people don't know what like how those shows run. I don't know how those shows run. We don't really have shows like SNL in the UK, so even the concept is like super alien to me. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's quite similar to like the other book that I've read by Curtis Sittenfeld, where it is very much giving millennial feminism, you know, kind of Taylor Swift feminism, where it's very much like, yeah, you're fighting for like quite good things, but you're also like, it's white middle class feminism where like you're the kind of topics that we're covering. But it's still super interesting. Like I am enjoying it. Like I said, on page 70 not too much is happening, to be honest, which it obviously is part of the genre. The genre is litfic. I don't expect a lot to be happening. You know, the thing that makes a book a literary fiction is the fact that it's just very character driven. So yeah, I'm enjoying kind of learning more about the SNL stuff. Like it's not called SNL in the book, but it's obvious it is SNL, you know. But I've also found it really interesting because the week that I'm filming this, like right now, it's a Sunday morning, the Jacob Elordi Renee Rapp SNL was on last night. And okay, so if you're American, we don't have SNL in the UK, it doesn't show, but if there are big guests on, then my whole social media feed will be taken over by them. So for example, I can't even, probably the last time my socials were taken over by SNL was when Harry Styles, or maybe the Travis Kelce, because Taylor and Travis were together when he hosted, wasn't she? And I did get quite a lot of that content. It's rare that I will see stuff to do with SNL. Like some of the skits I will get on social media, but it's quite rare. But this week, you know, Renee and Jacob, they've been everywhere. They're the it people at the moment. So yeah, they have been taking over my feed page with the SNL stuff. I'm seeing all the skits whenever I go on TikTok this morning. So that's actually been really cool to be more in the world of it. I feel like if it had been a time when I wasn't seeing a lot of SNL content, maybe I wouldn't be enjoying this as much. But I think where I'm reading about it and then I open my phone and I see TikToks of like a skit with Jacob and Renee in, then it does make it a little bit more engaging. But yeah, I definitely think like as an international reader, I think that might be a risk that you could run with this book, is that where it is kind of such an alien thing to us, like we don't have like a show like SNL, it does make it a little bit different unless you're super maybe ingrained in watching SNL. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I kind of like how all of the celebrities in it are made up. There's no one like, they've not name dropped like anyone that's real, I don't think. which is also quite cool. I do quite like that in a book. But yeah, I'm gonna carry on reading. Basically my plan today is just to read and have a super chill day. So I think we might finish this book today, to be honest, guys.
If you run with me, I gotta work for the both of us. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the love. When you ride with me, don't gotta worry when tomorrow comes. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry now, 'cause we stay in control in the name of love.
Update, I have literally like 50 pages left, 48 pages left of romantic comedy. But yeah, I ended up enjoying it so far a lot more than what I thought I was going. The self-deprecation stopped for a bit and it has started again, which I just don't like. It's so unneeded in a book. Like it takes away from so much. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's definitely not a 5-star read. I've not tabbed anything in it. And I think that kind of, for me, if I'm not tabbing anything, I know that like it's not making me feel something because I tab when I'm feeling something. So if it's not making me feel anything, then it means I'm not tabbing, which, you know, isn't really great from a book, but it's okay. It's not as good as American Wife, but I would say it's better than the Goodreads reviews. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it and then we can actually talk about it once I finished it, rather than, because, you know, my whole opinion could change in the next 50 pages.
Green-eyed and bright at 18, a face from mainstream, a walking daydream. They scream, sweet life of peaches and cream. No doubt I'm wishing it was me. Thigh highs and vintage mom jeans, a nighttime routine. I know I've seen this scene. Sweet life like on the big screen. No doubt I'm wishing it was me. I wanna put you on a pedestal, eat you like a cannibal. Maybe it's chemical, but I wanna keep you like a fucking collectible. How are you? How are you? And the way she moves is incredible, a glamorous spectacle. You know it's terrible, 'cause I used to watch the world burn. Lately I'm watching her
I look like. Today I was getting back in the 6 a.m. club and I have not slept that much. So we're gonna ignore this. So last night I started my year of rest and relaxation. I have not spoken to you about romantic comedy yet because honestly, I'm still gathering my thoughts on it as a whole. I have very, very mixed opinions on that book. There were some things that I liked about it, some things that I just didn't like. So still need a little bit of time with that. But my year of rest and relaxation, I'm not really enjoying this book. The main character, like the person whose POV we are in, like, so the year of rest and relaxation is like she basically just wants to sleep. Like that's all she wants to do for various like kind of mental health issues, like we suspect. But she's also just a terrible person to her friend, and it's like, it's not nice to read about. Like she's just being like, I wouldn't even describe it as she's being a bitch. Like she's just not a nice person straight up. So there's that. And yeah, it's also just so weird, like so weird. It's not super enjoyable. Like at first when I started last night, you know when something's so weird that it like entrances you in, and it's like if you drive past a car accident, you look because you're like, it's morbid curiosity. Morbid curiosity got me for the first part of this book. Now I'm just like, this is dull, so dull, because you're just reading about someone sleeping all the time, and then when it's not dull, there's something incredibly weird happening, or she's being like a horrid person. I might DNF it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try and push to at least the halfway point. I am on page 116, so I am quite close to being halfway. But yeah, right now I'm just not enjoying it, guys. I was enjoying bits of it, but she's just not nice. And also she goes to this bodega and it's like the people that run it is Egyptians, and she's constantly like, the Egyptians, the Egyptians. Like, it's, why are you referring to them by their like nationality, ethnicity, however you want to see it? It's weird. Like, the worker at the bodega, that is a better way of saying it. Like, why do you keep saying Egyptians? Yeah, her friend is also like obsessed with diet culture, and it's just like, I don't know, it's not like a comfortable read, and I'm guessing that's kind of the point of it. This is very much like, when I went into this week, this is the kind of book that I was expecting for lit fic. Obviously the other two haven't really been like that. This is like typical lit fic, and I don't enjoy it. I don't want to read about weird characters with their weird lives. Like, that's, I don't know. I'm going to try and go back to reading it, and I'll just keep you guys updated. I don't want to DNF it because, like, especially for a video like this when I'm only reading 3 books. But yeah, it's just, might just be a little bit too weird for me. Okay guys, the decision has been made. I'm gonna DNF my year of rest and relaxation. Let's take the bookmark out. I will start with this book and work our way backwards with my thoughts. So this is obviously what I very much expected my week in lit fic to be. This is the kind of reading that I was expecting from the get-go, really. Like, when I went into this reading vlog, I was expecting these kind of weird books. And then when I didn't get that on the first 2, I was like, oh, maybe I've misinterpreted the genre. Enter my year of rest and relaxation. Now, I'm gonna put this out there. I normally love unlikable characters. Like, that is normally something that I really, really enjoy. I liked it in the other 2 books, and I like it in Magnolia Parks. I liked it in Grown Ups. I liked it in so many other books that I've read. Like, these, Carrie Soto, for example, is another really good example of having unlikable characters, but unlikable characters that are relatably unlikable. This character was just a bad person. Like, there was a lot of like traumatic things that she'd been through, and I just found myself not caring because of how much of an arsehole she was to the people that were genuinely there for her. She has a best friend that constantly calls her, constantly turns up for her, shows up for her, and tries to like be there for her, and she like the main character constantly belittles her, makes fun of her, and is just an asshole to her. But yeah, she's so horrible to this girl that's so nice to her, and I honestly just can't get on board with it. Like, I just don't want to read about it. Like, there was some really, really deep moments in this where her friend had like gone through some like nasty stuff, hard stuff, and the girl was like, the main character's inner monologue was just being like, oh, all she does is complain. Like, not once was she like sympathetic, empathetic to this friend. Like, I just can't get on board with it. I don't want to read about someone like that. And also the whole book is just about her going to sleep, and she goes to see this weird psychiatrist, like, and just is not nice. Like, it's just too much of the book is her just being an arsehole to people. Like, there's some people that are arseholes to her, like when she talks about her relationship with her parents and this older boyfriend. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, when I picked this book up and I read the blurb, I thought we were gonna be getting Serena Vanderwoodson. That was kind of what I was imagining. And maybe because I went into it with that, I was really disappointed. But yeah, I just hated the main character so much. Like, she was just being horrible to people. And yeah, I couldn't get on board with it. So halfway through, a DNF from me. First DNF of the year. I really wish Goodreads had like a thing where you can DNF. I think I'll just leave it in my currently reading and write DNF. But yeah, I wish that Goodreads had something where you could say that you've DNF'd a book, because it's so annoying. I want the credit for reading half a book. At least it was only like 140 pages, so it's not too bad. But moving on to the second book that we read this week, romantic comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. So this was another one that I was so excited to read going into this week, because if you follow me on TikTok, you will probably know that American Wife by Curtis Sittenfeld is one of my favourite books of all time. This fell a little bit short for me, and I'm actually now really scared to do a reread of American Wife, because the main place where this fell short was the fact that it was very much centred around millennial white women feminism, and there was so much of that in this book that it became a detriment. I really like books about politics. I love books where they mention real political figures and real political events, and we are very much in that timeline. I really like it. I find it makes it really engaging, and I like reading political characters. However, when that is on the backdrop of like that kind of feminism, and it's coming across in a woe is me, very much like, I love Taylor Swift, very much Taylor Swift feminism, where it's like always woe is me, I have it so hard, and you have kind of BIPOC characters and non-binary characters and trans characters that are sat on the backdrop of this, and you have a white woman that is woe is me. It makes it really difficult, especially when it's difficult to tell if it is the character's opinions or the author's opinions. That is something that is really difficult. The other thing that I found with this book is it reads as almost as if the author started it in 2018 when it begins, and then it got tabled for a little while, or maybe she started it 2019, kind of. It is very much set against the Pete Davidson backdrop. There is a character in this that is just so obvious he's Pete Davidson. So it's very much set against that Pete Davidson backdrop. So perhaps it started kind of when we saw, were Kim and Pete 2020? Maybe in the Ariana Pete stage, that kind of 2018, 2019, when we were seeing like BDE, and we were seeing people like Pete Davidson dating people like Ariana Grande. So it feels like the first part was written then, and then it felt like maybe she didn't know where to go with it, so she tabled it, because the way they talk about politics in that section of the book is, I don't think someone could have written that like post that time, if that makes sense. Like, it's very much really, really of the time, and if she didn't write it in the time, then that is an amazing skill, in all honesty. We then move into a bit about COVID, which is written as emails. Again, so of the time. It really feels like she picked the project up in COVID and decided to run with it as this kind of COVID outlet. The like second half of the book is all set in COVID, and it feels like it was written in COVID as well. There's a lot of things that feel super, super specific, to COVID and like 2020 COVID, and it very much feels like those things you're reading about and you're like, oh, I forgot about that. Like it definitely feels like a project that was tabled got picked up again in COVID. And then we have an epilogue that is kind of set more in 2022, 2023, and it does kind of feel like it's been stuck on the end. The other thing I found with this book is it does feel like a literary fiction and a romance stuck together. It doesn't feel like the first half very much feels like a lit fic. The second half is a weird romance where it doesn't quite work. I don't think she's a strong romance author. I think she's a very, very strong author in other areas, in kind of fiction, historical fiction, literary fiction. I don't think romance is where she shines, and I think that's very evident in this book. The kind of other thing is, obviously we are reading about someone from SNL basically, and it's not funny. There was nothing funny. I didn't laugh once in this book. And for comparison, like I do read laugh when I read books. Just now I started A Collision of Stars by Georgia Stone. I'm reading an arc of it and it will be in a vlog in a few weeks time. And I've laughed twice and I'm like 2% of the way in. So like I do laugh in books, just not this book, which I think is disappointing just because of the fact that we are following an SNL writer. I found the concept really, really interesting. However, it's just super of the time of the Pete Davidson craze, and I don't really feel like that's something that's as prominent in society now. I can't think of the last like kind of Pete Davidson-esque guy. Most of SpongeBob, but then that's Ariana Grande and that's just her niche, and like he's not gone wild. Like Pete Davidson kind of went crazy, and it's Ariana Grande, like that's clearly just her niche. So yeah, it was definitely like really interesting, and I wanted to read it purely because of I thought it was a really interesting topic, taking that kind of those relationships where these like with these mid men and these really like successful women. I thought it was a really interesting thing to look at. I didn't like how self-deprecating the character was, like our narrator was, but yeah, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I think it wasn't bad, but I also think because it's only split into 3 chapters, I think it'd be quite hard to read if you didn't read it pretty much in a day, like how I read it. So that is another factor as well. Something else as well I think I spoke about when I was reading it, I definitely think that my reading experience was improved by the fact that I was getting a significant amount of SNL content because of Renee Rapp and Jacob Elordi being on SNL. I've said it before, in the UK I don't typically get a lot of SNL content apart from when it's people really, really popular that are on it. And I definitely think that that really helped my reading of this because it made it enjoyable when I was seeing, you know, especially yesterday, Sunday, I was getting all of the clips from SNL coming out, like all of the sketches that go viral, and then hearing it being kind of spoke about in the same way in here was super, super interesting. The first book and the final one we'll talk about is Normal People, and this was my outstanding winner of the week. Guys, I absolutely adored this book. It resonated so deeply. I have heard people say that you're either Normal People girly or you're a Conversations with Friends girly, and I gave Conversations with Friends 4 stars when I read it this time last year, so I was a bit hesitant with Normal People, thinking that I was going to be a Conversations with Friends girly. This was so much better. It's nowhere near as weird and strange as Conversations with Friends. The main character in Conversations with Friends is very odd, like typical kind of what you think of lit fic. Marianne and Connell aren't super weird. There's some weird conversations, there's some very political conversations that take place in this, but to me this was outstanding. The way the characters are created, the way that it really is representative of relationships now and situationships now. Like, I felt so seen by this book, and for that reason I think this is a 6-star read. I really do. I think this is going to be a book that I think about all the time. Yeah, I really think this is a 6-star read for me. So obviously it's a Goodreads 5-star. I loved everything about it. I think from the way that I've tabbed it, like, that is a book that is loved. You know, you don't tab a book that much that isn't like a 5 or 6-star read. It did take me a little while to get through, considering how short it was, mainly because of how much I was tabbing it, how much I was emotionally engaging with the piece. So yeah, that sums up our week of reading lit fic. So as a whole, would I read lit fic again? Yes, from specific authors, and I would definitely kind of want to look more into the reviews and what people are thinking before picking up some more of this genre. I definitely want to look into more of Curtis Sittenfeld's backlist. I'm really curious to read some more. Obviously, like, I did enjoy this book and I really enjoyed American Wife. I'm very curious to read more of her backlist. And I'm also intrigued to read the Only Sally Rooney book that I haven't read, which is like Beautiful People or something. I can't see myself going for another book from this author again, Tessa Moshfegh, just because I really didn't like that book. But yeah, I'd also be really interested to read some lit fic from BIPOC authors, because the one resounding thing that came from all of these books is they're all about white middle class people and the issues that they face, and they are, like, I'd say lit fic is a genre that is political by nature. So when you are kind of just getting that view, for example, a lot of normal people, we have these like very middle class, upper class people, and it's kind of the point, talking about like things like communism and socialism. So I'd find it really interesting to read some lit fic from more BIPOC authors with BIPOC characters as well. I think that would be really, really interesting. But that is everything from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts on all of these books if you've read them down below. Just chat away. I love chatting with you guys. I love hearing your opinions on books, on here, on TikTok, on anywhere. So yeah, but I will catch you in the next one.